Hello, hello. It's Anni here from the Caffeine-Free Live and Walking with Jesus. I don't. It's Walking with Jesus and Caffeine-Free Live, my channel name. So, welcome to this live. For long time no see in this English live I haven't done for a little while. Update live, so I decided that I'm gonna now do update, and then probably I will do my next update when I'm in my 5 years caffeine free, which will be next April. So now I'm 4 years, and this will be 4 years and 8 months. Will be in this month's 18th of this month. So that's where I am now in my journey. And I'm sorry about my English. I'm struggling a bit with that always when I haven't been speaking English for a while. So I think I'm gonna just start to tell how I'm feeling now and just give you a little bit reassurance and support in your journey wherever you are caffeine quitters. And if you are new caffeine quitter, welcome also to my channel. And I really hope that my videos have been helping you and can help you, whoever is going through these post-acute withdrawals, which is the state, like I always say, when after we quit a drug. This case I always speak about caffeine, but I really think that it's really important to quit all mind-altering drugs. I always be like repeating that. So that is the state when your brain and body still keeps doing the rewiring, processing, renewing. There is the thing called neuroplasticity in our brain, which means that all the things that when we were adapted while we were in caffeine addiction, it kind of adapts back while we are going through pause. So you already know this kind of information, and you can check about that information if you are interested about that. But for me, I just feel that the more time goes like further, I just don't have so much speak about this. Like I just feel so much better in that way that I wanna do all kind of other stuff, and I kind of want to also leave this really bad hellish experience. I would call it hellish experience because that's how it was for me. Like really hard experience, all those years going through these really hard symptoms that many of you are now going through. So it really is like behind. And that's what happens to you too, because I know many of you message me that how can this be? I'm 2 years off and I still feel like this and low energy, no motivation, DBDR, just blahness, just so much pain, tiredness, whatever you have. People have different kinds of symptoms, what comes to in everyone's journey. But then how do you know that you heal? Well, trust me, you just know. You start to feel like good. You start to feel more like yourself again. And where I am now in my journey, I still have some kinks, which I want to speak about in this live. What are my still kinks? Because honestly, why I don't want to do these updates so often, all the time again, because I get a little bit frustrated because so many people are questioning this. I know that it's normal to question this. It's normal to question, is it normal? And many people are, oh, this girl it's not from caffeine anymore. It can't be caffeine if you are 2 years off, 3 years off. Well, I will say only this. In my channel, I will share my truth, and I have right to share that. And if you don't like that, don't then watch my channel, or don't watch these videos if these are not helping you, because I think there is not so many people who really honestly say how long this journey is gonna last for many people, and it is 4 years of journey. And why I say that? I say that because I also see other people going through the same kind of stuff. Even after years, they have quit the drug. And that is just being honest. It's not anything like scaring people. It's not anything like I need to be right. And it's not other issues, it's not underlying issues, it's just something that happens when you have been adapted to the drug use since all of your life. I was adapted to caffeine since I was pretty much 3 years old, all my life. And then when you quit, some people, they do have pause and they have to like adapt back. And for some people, they do have really sensitized nervous system, like I had, which can mean that you have a lot of like anxiety, panic attacks, all kind of symptoms. You cannot tolerate the stress very well. You are just hypersensitive, experiencing that fight or flight freeze. But that too will ease. That too will ease, and then you will be able to tolerate more stress. So then also, when we go further in this journey, what I have been experiencing, you also, when you are doing this rewiring, you start to rewire in those processes that will be that they didn't develop when you were younger. For some people, maybe that have been happening. So what I have been feeling that now in some ways my brain feels like a 15 years old, or when I was like in my early teenage, and all these emotions that have been like stuck there that I couldn't process, you can call them traumas or just emotions. Hi Jazz, what comes to in my case, I didn't like, I have like my mother and father did divorce, and there was a lot of things that I wasn't told about that stuff, and because I was just drinking caffeine all the time and just go, and when I was younger, I also did drink alcohol and smoke cigarettes, so I was suppressing a lot of those emotions just inside me, and I never wasn't able to process them like fully. Even I went through therapies. I think I was like in a stuck, because in therapies we just did talk about the past, and we just talk about like, yeah, you have these intrusive thoughts and those are all normal, and you just have to like have these intrusive thoughts all your life, and that is not true, because I don't have any intrusive thoughts anymore, or OCD, that is recovered. But the thing that I am dealing now, especially in my period, is that I'm just now able to process all these emotions that I should have processed then when I was a teenager. I should have processed then those feelings, but I couldn't be able because I was on drugs, I was on caffeine. And I really do believe that caffeine it does stop that process. It does that when you are in that, in that fight or flight state. Your body just are focusing to survival and, the most important stuff, like keeping you as alive. And I was all my life like go, do this and that. And now when my body actually feels safe and good, it also have been meaning that now when I feel safe enough, those processes, which you probably, some of you called underlying issues, but they are not actually underlying issues. That is also part of this pause process for many people, that when your nervous system starts to regulate itself, it's just parts of all of it. Like your memories will pop up naturally, your emotions will start to pop up naturally, and there is no other way than feel those emotions. And that is actually a really good thing when you cry, when you laugh, when you see something uplifting, or if I see something sad, I can now cry. But it's not like I'm gonna be in that emotion all the time. It's just like it comes and it goes. But before in my journey, when I was caffeinated, I was stuck. I was stuck in those very uncomfortable thoughts, or I did get stuck from the rage. I was very ragey, or I did get stuck from many kind of like very unpleasant feelings, and I couldn't get out from that. And then what I thought then, because nobody did told me about this stuff, nobody did told me about caffeine and how it affects our body and our system, and how it always keeps us in high stress state, I thought that I was just a bad person. That's how I thought, and I know that many people also probably feel like me, that they just feel that, oh, they just always do failure with the relationships, and they do failure with the God, and they do failure with everything. But it's not that. It's not that. It's just like how we have been kind of adapted, and that's how our system was kind of adapted to work, and that's how our nervous system was adapted to work. And all our experience, what you have there and what everyone have, that's how we kind of was growing up and adapted. And the healing, it's uncomfortable. It is. And the first years of many in this pause process, it's when you are not able to like regulate these emotions, because it can be that you are stuck in their fight or flight state, where only thing that you are doing is surviving the days. You don't have, your body doesn't feel safe enough yet. It's just like you can have, and this is for you who have high anxiety, of course, not everyone will have that. But in those first years, for many, it's just like going through the days pretty much, somehow just surviving, you do what you can, and then you get in the next state, which I am now. And not everybody have this same trauma stuff, so it can be that you don't even have to deal with this, of course, in the same way. But if you do deal with these emotions, especially if you are a woman and if you are dealing with these emotions during your periods, it's still processing. It's still part of this pause. And still, if you have still like these low energy days that I have, it's still part of this. And you don't have to try to like prove to anyone that, and I'm not even messaging anymore if the people are putting me those messages that no, it's not that for 4 years or 5 years. I don't know. I think that I will be done in 5 years and I will be just running around and doing stuff. But I'm not gonna answer that, because I feel that it's a little bit rude after everything that I have shared. Because this is something that I have wanted to share just to help people, and not just to like like just yell that, oh, it's gonna take 5 years, even if it would take 5 years for some people. Hi Mandy, nice to see you. So that's something. And also I have noticed that people seems to have a really bad how would I say, when I speak about this caffeine topic, they tend to be really irritability. They start to defend themselves. They start to get really mad and angry, many of them. So that's why I have felt that, okay, I don't need to be here and save the world. I have done my part, I think, pretty well. Even I don't get a lot of like compliments with that, what comes to caffeine. Everybody wants to hear all kind of other conspiracy, but when it comes to caffeine, nobody wants to hear it, nobody wants to believe it. So I think I have done my part now, and what you need to do there, it's just wait and trust, because you do get well. You really do get well. And it does, everything that you are doubting now, your mind is doubting, oh, is this gonna be going away? It will go away. I get a little bit ready because I'm nervous sometimes to speak about that, because I know that there are people who are trying to attack sometimes to me in the chat, and just I'm a human being. I do get emotional sometimes, because you know, when you go through something like this, that you are like basically 4 years stuck in the state that you didn't know that are you gonna heal or are you gonna not heal. Even everybody was reassuring me that all it takes is times. You then, and when you do heal, and then you wanna just put that truth out there, you're gonna just start to. Sometimes it's not easy, because you have to face all the feelings now, and when you are not taking anything, you are not taking any drugs, you are not suppressing any feelings, it's all that rare there. It's rare in the plate. When you don't do porn, when you don't take any substances, you don't take any drugs, you don't take anything, you don't have anything but all the rare feelings there in the plate. There are all the rare feelings. And that's life. And that's pretty cool. And that's also part of the recovery process. And that's what many of us are still dealing with. And in many ways, it's like I have been feeling really amazing. Like I have been able to do so much stuff that I couldn't have done before. You know, just I have been just enjoying eating all the foods that I can. I can eat whatever. I don't have stomach issues anymore, anything. I don't have depression. Sometimes in my periods I have a little bit like those feelings. Like last night I had things going on, but it's not that bad deep depression that I had when I really was like in you know, when you have the anhedonia depression, when you just feel like really really low. I never have that kind of that what I had in 3 years that bad wave that I had. So I have never had that anymore. So I'm just so grateful for so many things that have been like rewiring and happening, and this is who I am. This is who I am, very rare, always speaking. I think that's my YouTube, why it doesn't get many viewers. It's that nobody wants to be rare, like nobody wants to come and share in their like what they really have been feeling in this journey, because it's not easy. Nobody wants. I started to do this YouTube when I was 4 months off. I was a mess. I was completely mess. I was like hell of a mess. Many of those videos I did remove because I felt so much shame. I felt so much shame because I did videos where I was having panic attacks, where I was crying, where I was just, you know, that really, really bad PMS messy person. And I did remove those. I wish I would have more courage that I wouldn't have removed everything, because, you know, that's how it really was. That's how it really was. But what we tend to do videos usually then. I was doing videos when I was feeling a little bit more window or a little bit more better. But then now when I have gone further this journey and I become so much stronger, and I don't really, like for me, it's just so important to be honest. I just want to show the whole honesty. And that's why I always have been sharing where I am, and not something that I kind of did before, that I was just trying to be over positive, and that for some people probably did give a little bit wrong information, because I didn't know then better. I didn't know any better what I do know now, because I do know now that this is a long journey for many. And I know that there are in many groups people who are just like, they are just going back and forth that what is this symptom and what is this symptom and is this gonna go away. All the symptoms are gonna go away, but it just takes time. So I hope this speech did give you reassurance. Let's see the comments. Sorry, my computer is a little bit not working best today. Hi, Yuppie Star. Hi, Annie, don't be discouraged. You know your story and your body best. If they don't want to believe, then they should continue to suffer. Yes, I really have decided that I'm not gonna push this information anymore, because I have to tell it haven't been really easy. People doesn't take this information in very well in my country. In English, this is so much easier to do. So I should have keep this channel probably just in English, but you know, I just wanted to share in Finnish too, because we don't really have this kind of information in my journey. Thank goodness the deep depression is gone. Yes, the deep depression is really, it's gone. It's not like anything it was so bad. I remember I know that my brain doesn't want to go too much there where I was. My brain doesn't even let me go in those first years. It doesn't let me go there. It's just, or in that bad way, because sometimes if I have tried to think intrusive thoughts, my brain doesn't let me think intrusive thoughts. That's kind of weird thing that has been happening. So I really think that when we start to be more healed, our brain just naturally want to do more good stuff. Like we wanna we don't like, you don't want to get stuck in the trauma, so called. You want to start to do good stuff. You want to be outside, you want to work out, you want to eat food, you want to go restaurants, or whatever is your normal life, what you do. You want to be out with your friends, you want to talk with your friends, you want to take care with your animals, all those things that were difficult when you were rewiring, because when you are rewiring, all the normal things were difficult. Like it can be that you felt so uncomfortable with your stomach that you didn't want to go anywhere, or you will just felt so bloated or just so irritability that you didn't want to meet people. You were just kind of in your own little bubble, living through the days and surviving through the days. And that is normal when you are healing and when your nervous system is desensitized. When your nervous system is doing that regulation, it's normal that every stressor that happens in life, sometimes we have stressors, we can lost our loved ones, or we can have relationship issues in any other way, or whatever. Some people have some kind of health issues, they do have to take surgeries, or all kind of stories I have heard what can cause a lot of stress to people in this journey. And life happens, but it doesn't mean that it's gonna like stop your healing. Even if it would ramp up your symptoms, that stress sometimes can do that. It can ramp up your symptoms. So you just all you have to do is just stay out from the mind-altering substances and keep living life. That is all that we really need to do in this. And I know it's very hard. I know that I have a lot of empathy, of course, to people who are going through this, and that's why I did make this channel. And I really hope that these videos that are gonna stay here in my channel, maybe they're gonna help people in the future too. Even I move on. I will move on, and at least I will probably leave this topic for some years. I do my 5 years update because I did promise you to do that. And then I also have promised to do video where I share my testimony, how I did became to know Jesus, because some of people have been also asking that. And I have done that, my testimony also before, so I have shared that also too. So that process itself too have been a lot of like emotional process, like just starting to get to know Jesus and how I was saved and all that. It wasn't like easy peasy with all this what was going on with this like processing emotions and stuff. So it have been like I have been just slowly growing with Jesus, and that's why I did change the name for my channel, because I don't want that Jesus it's just a like fast ticket to heaven for me. No, I just want that Jesus is with me all the time, and I want to speak about that and share about the Bible in English too. But now I am in that phase that I just want to read first Bible in Finnish and get to know the God's word, and also you all are in my prayers. I do pray a lot. That is really important to me that I do pray. And that is one topic too that people get somehow like a little bit like, I don't know, defensive or attacking. Sometimes it's like that I'm not trying to push my religion to anyone. That is not what I do. But for me, it was just so huge experience when I was saved by Jesus, and when I did get out from that all that new age crap that I was doing, and I have that like demonic attack happening to me. So when I was saved, I was just so grateful and full of peace and joy that there is Jesus. Jesus is alive, and it's a living God, because I was going in the wrong direction with this process what comes to these practices, because I started to believe all those, if you have followed my channel, I started to do those card readings, and I was doing yoga, which I don't do anymore because it's not something that you don't want to do. If you read the Bible, God words say that yoga is basically, it's worshipping the Hinduic gods. But that's for another topic. It's just what I do. I don't judge anyone. It's just why I have been changing so much. it have been a kind of a big change, but it's also have been happening really naturally, because it just came naturally. It's hard to explain to someone who doesn't experience that, because I was doing yoga since 20 years, and then when I was saved by Jesus, it just went away, like it disappeared in me. And that's like it's when you kind of born in Christ, you born again with the Spirit. It can do that you just naturally wants to. It's not that you do anything, it's the Christ, what the Christ, that's the point. It's what the Christ is doing inside of you. So it's not that we are not with our own will, with even you would want to do a lot of good stuff, but without Jesus, and this is how I believe, without Jesus I would have go into hell. Like Jesus is the way, truth, and the life, and the only way to heaven. So that have been also the huge thing for me, that I have so much joy for that I can give all my struggles and problems to Jesus, and I don't have to carry them, because I can't carry them by myself. And that have of course given me a lot of strength to speak about these things, and because I don't have anyone to support that Anni keep speaking about these things. It's just only support for me have been the God, and of course these very nice comments that you have been sending me. But I also want to say that God loves you really much. Jesus loves you. He loves everyone so much, and he wants to that we will be his children. Like I think about Jesus like a father that I never really had, or mother, the close mother that I couldn't have. Jesus is like every day I speak to Lord, like for example, like what should I do now? Like that's how it is to living relationship with God that I didn't have before when I didn't know Jesus. So basically I just didn't know that he loves us so much that he wants to be with us in every single moment. And if you are struggling now, I just want to say that every season in our life, it's there for a purpose. There is some kind of purpose why we go through these certain phases or struggles. And usually that purpose will get to clear us when we get over those hard times, and then we really start to shine with our true purpose, whatever is for you, or whatever you be meant to do in your life. So your purpose will, it's waiting there for you when you just trust. And I know it's hard to trust when you are not really feeling well. I know that when you are feeling well and you have a good window, it's easy to trust. It's like, okay, I got this, I really got this now I'm like a new human. But when you face the more challenges, which is more healing, for example, when you will face the new wave, like we speak about this channel, that can be really discouraging you. And I know the feeling that many people then they just start to go in your head, and you start to Google, and you start to research. But in those times, just know that those are always gonna pass, like they did pass before. Like, they always did pass before, if you have been going this journey like quite some time. Yes, I think when we talk about truth, we cannot hurt anyone. Yes, I think so too. Like, because when we just share our truth, it shouldn't be hurting anyone, because like we all are the same. Like even on drugs or not drugs, we are the same value. Like that's what I also have learned what comes to Jesus, that you don't have to face that, you don't have to wait that you are good enough to go to Jesus. Like Jesus is to everyone, every single one, and we all are worth of the love, and he came here to die the cross because of our sins, for all the people's sins, every people's sins, not just some people's sins, but every people. So everyone can be saved who believes in Jesus. So then that's what the Bible says. But like sometimes we are so hard to ourselves. We are so hard and we are afraid what other people think. And I think that's just, it's so natural even with time, this social media time, because when I was young, the time was different, but now when I started to do social media, I actually learned that, oh, people are not so nice. Oh, they are not so nice at all. That when you start to share your truth, and when you are really like in that sensitive place where I was really long time, that even going in YouTube, I get really bad triggered if somebody did comment something against me. So then I was just starting to notice that, oh, this is not easy at all, that I'm just trying to help and do the good work, and people are not liking this. But that's how it is when we share our truth. It's almost also, it makes us stronger in that sense, that when we do get more healed, we are not so much triggered, because our stress response is like not hitting us. Like, think about that you are not, your brain is not gonna be in that survival state all the time, so you can actually like let some people to make fun of you or say names or whatever, and you can just be like, haha, okay, good for you. But when you are really sensitized and when you feel all these fight or flight feelings, you get very defensive. Like, that's just natural what we do. And this wouldn't probably be like this if I would face these people in the face to face, because then it's different kind of connection. So this has been really interesting journey to do this YouTube while I have been recovering, and I don't know if I would recommend it, but I would recommend to you, if you ever wanna do the channel and share your story or share your story in the comment, I would say that if you are a caffeine quitter, that will help a lot of people in the future, because like people wanna hear success stories. They love it. I sure did love to read success stories, but what I did learn in this way, in this journey, that there is not so many people who stay caffeine free really long, and they will tell about that. Or then also I learned that many people who are caffeine free, they are also using some other substances. So then also their journey can be looking like really different than those people who are not taking. So don't compare yourself either way. If you are taking some other substances, even you are caffeine free, so that can be that your journey is different. But for me, I want to say that the best way, if you just can, is stay away from all the mind-altering substances and supplements and anything that could do any harm for you or could stop your healing. But do you have any questions or anything? Because I will keep doing other kind of lives in my channel for sure. But I just feel that for this caffeine topic, it's now good for me to take a little bit break and then do my 5 years update. And then honestly, I don't know if I will be wanting to do so much updates. I don't know yet. It depends. But seems that somehow maybe people are not following my channel anymore so much, because I don't know where all the caffeine quitters are, or if they have gone back. I don't really know. But however it is, you know that my old videos are there, and they will be always there, and videos with Mandy, what we have done. I'm really, really thankful for Mandy, all the work that she have been wanting to do with me, and that's been a huge blessing, because nobody really wants to come here and talk about this stuff. I wouldn't be strong enough to deal with criticism and insults in this condition. Respect for your strength and such a difficult time. Yes, and that's completely normal, Yuppie Star. Because I think that I was just so confused what happened to me, because nothing like this had never happened to me. I was always able to kind of manage my own, do the work out. I was always kind of the person that I don't need other people's help, and I'm just about to manage life to my own. And then when I did end up to this stuff, where my nervous system was, I felt that it was completely broken, even it wasn't broken, and I wasn't injured, I was just adapted to that drug. I just felt so lonely because my boyfriend, which is now my roommate, we are not in together in that sense, but we are still living in together. It just happened naturally in this journey that we kind of became the friends, because it was all also difficult, very, very difficult with what comes to relationships, because I couldn't be normal. I couldn't even have sex. It was even, there is many things that I don't speak, but there's so many things that I was affected by this experience that I couldn't like function normally in those years. What comes to relationship stuff and all the other stuff, that's why I kind of started to do YouTube, because there was at least some people to having the same experience that I had, because nobody really my loved ones, and even this day they don't get it. They don't, and I think they never will get it, because the people who doesn't go through this experience, and trust me, I hope that not many would never do this, they cannot know exactly what you are going through, not being able to do normal stuff, and not being able to function, and just emotionally being so distant, and so I can say it's a kind of a hell of a journey have been in that sense. And now I'm kind of like, there's a lot of things that happened in 4 years in that sense. It's a long time that now I just want to live life so much. And even there have been happening some things that are kind of sad, which comes to normal life. I'm not sad about those. I'm just like, oh, well, I went through caffeine withdrawal hell, like, what? So what if the war comes? Okay, those are big issues or whatever. But for me, it's like it's nothing. It's nothing. Those normal life issues. And then one thing that I also heard a lot of people saying, that how do you know it's not a just normal life? Well, if I would read my symptoms to you, I'm pretty sure that you would understand that having like tons of panic attacks every day, dissociating, feeling DPDR, having tons of pain, you are not able to look straight, you are not able to connect, you're not able to feel feelings, you are not able to even sometimes speak, your brain doesn't work, you feel stuck. I'm pretty sure that that's not just normal life. And some people just think that you are like crazy, that caffeine cannot do that, and there is a lot of people that keep pushing this information that caffeine is healthy for you, and they really want to push this information that caffeine is really healthy, and it just depends what kind of caffeine are you using, and that is completely bullshit. Even if you would have been able to use that and you are okay to use that, caffeine is not healthy. It's not healthy to anyone. You can believe it's healthy, but the fact is that it's not. So that's also I wanted to say. But I don't so much want to argue with that, because even those people that I know that are in my family, they just gonna always use caffeine. It's their decision. They don't care about this information what I share. They just somehow joke about it, or they're like, hey, I just have my coffee. But this, for many people, this is actually a serious thing, this caffeineism, and it can really do something. Like I'm not the only person in the world that did fall off the mountain with caffeine. I really am not. There is a lot of other people who do fall off the mountain with caffeine and do have these symptoms. And if you don't believe me, you can go also Quitting Caffeine Facebook group. There is a Facebook group called Quitting Caffeine. There is a lot of other people going through these symptoms. So it's not in that sense that also one thing I have been like recently thinking, that there is all kind of channels which speak about so much with other drugs, alcohol, which is good that they speak about them, amphetamine, cocaine, all those, but which is so weird that caffeine is just something that it's completely underestimated. Even that can be for many people the root cause of their stuff, and it can lead to other addictions. I know some people who have messaged me that they have said that they have used all the drugs in the world, all the heavy drugs that we called heavy drugs, and they didn't suffer anything with them like they suffer with caffeine. That just tells something to me, that tells something, that if the person have been using all the drugs in the world and they are scared of hell quitting caffeine and not even scared of quitting some of the hard drugs, that just tells something. So yeah, it's not like easy peasy for many. It's actually a wild roller coaster for many. Hi Christopher, how are you doing? Hi Laja, helps to ummetus with rööki. Yes, I don't know if for some people the cigarettes will help the constipation, but that's also, I think, it's just how your body have been adapting. I know people who have like adapting in that way that they say that they cannot go to the toilet without coffee. Like that's how they have been adapted, that they need to have the coffee, and that's just also shows that how we really do adapt. Like I always have said that I was a heavy user. I was my amount was probably that 1,000 milligrams per day. It could have been even more, because now when I have read the Caffeine Blues, I know that those cups that and those doses that they say, they are not it's not the fact. Like if I would have drink, like I said, for example, 5 cups a day, my cup was really big, and then I also had those other sources of caffeine, so my caffeine intake was actually such high that I don't know even how high it was. And that's the mainstream media is now pushing us this information that there is a really safe line, what is like some milligrams of caffeine will be safe for you. That doesn't exist. There is no safe limit. Also, some people have been experiencing really bad symptoms after just using 1 cup a day of coffee for years, and they have been adapted to just 1 cup of coffee. So it's not just like people always also they attack, yeah, but it was just because you were just a heavy user and I'm not like you. Yeah, you don't, and you are not like me. Everybody is different. Maybe you can use like tons of caffeine and be fine, but just want to let you know that for many cases, it's not like that. It's not the amount always. It's just you have been adapted, and if you fall off the mountain and you get like kind of injured, even I don't like that word, that just happens. And that can happen to with other substances too, that your nervous system will get sensitized. That can happen for trauma or something, but the information that I have been wanting to share in my channel, and why I don't want to speak about so much that like in the different perspective in this all stuff, that I just do believe that if we don't take anything, any drugs, any mind altering drugs, our system naturally have meant to heal. Like the trauma stuff also, this behavioral stuff also, the childhood stuff also, the stuff that our brain didn't maybe develop through all the way. I think this is just something, my own stuff that I have been thinking about, and you can agree or not agree, but I really think that God made us to be healthy, and I don't think that should be like some kind of rocket science that we should take this and this and this supplement, and we have to do this and this diet. I actually think that being like healthy should be really natural and normal, and we shouldn't even in normal life think about that. We shouldn't be even thinking about that when we don't have anxiety or we don't have any of these symptoms. We are not here talking about symptoms. We are not. We do care less about neurotransmitters in the brain or how they do communicate. At least did you ever, before this happened, were you interested about how your neurons were communicating, or what did you dopamine did to you, or we weren't really, because we weren't optimal, but we were just living life in that state that we thought is normal. And that's why the really wake up call comes for many when we quit that drug, and it doesn't happen for many before we quit, because the caffeineism is a state that it slowly grows, it slowly changes the personality, it slowly sneaks in with so many ways that people can be completely not known before they quit. And that is the hugest thing ever with this drug, this caffeine, that you can be completely like in different kind of mindset and different kind of what is that, like cassitus, like different kind of thought before you quit. And this is something that people message me, that Anni, I would have never ever known that caffeine was affecting me like this. Or then people who do fall off the mountain, which means that they really do end up having really bad high anxiety and their nervous system will get sensitized. They message me that how this can be. I never was like this. I never had like this. I never experienced these symptoms. How this can be. And they repeat that same. So it shows how the caffeine really is the huge drug, and then there is something to deal a little bit when you like when this happened to me, like out of the nowhere. Like think about that, you are living really busy life, working out every day, doing all kind of stuff, you have relationships like with people, you meet your friends, you take your coffee, you drink it every day, and then bam, out of the blue, you are like in this really helpless state where you don't actually know what happened to you. You are just wondering what the hell did happen. And then slowly I started to figure out that, oh, it was because of caffeine, and this really takes time. And it's also okay to not believe that it takes time if you are having these symptoms, because for me it took really long time before I was able to accept that it takes time. I think it's part of the process. Sometimes it's easier to accept when you have a more good window and you do feel better. But then if you do hit the wave again after you have felt a little bit better, that sometimes can put you down. At least it did for me, that I was just, no, this cannot be. No, I don't deal with this. But I didn't have any other options, because I was so fucked up that I couldn't go back to caffeine either. That wasn't an option for me. I think some people, they can go back. Maybe they didn't fall off the mountain so badly if they can go back or something like that. But I still don't recommend you to go back, even if you wouldn't have bad anxiety. Even if you would have mild symptoms. Let's say that you have only, some people can have, let's say that you have tiredness, or you feel a little bit irritability, or like fatigue. That's really common. Even you wouldn't have bad symptoms like tiredness, fatigue, maybe depression, maybe some anhedonia, no motivation. Let's say that you have only these symptoms, not really bad anxiety. It's still gonna, for some people, they struggle with those symptoms. It's still gonna be hard for them to not go back. So in that state, I would definitely would not go back. Definitely would not go. In any stage, I would not go back. But if you are even able to, work and do the stuff or whatever, don't go back, because it gets so much better. You will level up. The thing that many people will relapse in 1 year or 2 years, it's that they didn't give up, give in time. They didn't give enough time. Then they regret, because they wasn't like healed, but they wasn't so bad either. They was just kind of like wanting to feel more, or they wanted to feel more energy, and then they just kind of end up a little bit of coffee or a little bit chocolate, and I'm gonna moderate with this stuff. I'm not gonna go all the way back. But what happens with this drug, you will go all the way back. You don't moderate with this drug. I don't know at least anyone who is moderating with this drug, that when they become to addict, the addiction kind of takes you. So that's why I don't recommend you to go the back if you are just like little bit like about to go or not. Don't go, because you will end up just having the same stuff again. Maybe you can have a little bit like euphoria or motivation for a little time, but then you're gonna crash again, and then the same start. You will have to start all over again. But then if you do relapse by accident, or maybe you just wanna relapse, then don't worry about that either. Then just try to quit again. I will like encourage you to quit again, even if you will relapse 1,000 times, because every time is a new opportunity to you to start to like withdrawal or heal with after the caffeineism. And there is so many stuff that I have been experiencing in my journey that it's even hard to put into words what comes to symptoms and what comes to all these brain feelings that I have had here, like in the frontal part, and not being able to focus or read, and just feeling dumb, and just feeling that I don't understand anything, and all those was part of this journey. And it's not like you are dumb or you are not understanding anything or you cannot read or your eyes are blurry for the rest of your life, or this is just new you. It's not. It's just like healing symptoms that are temporary. And the brain fog also is very common. The dizziness, not connecting your body, maybe you gain weight. I actually recently started to like, I have been gaining some weight, and I was kind of like discouraged with that, because of course I have been eating more because I have been now able to eat whatever. So I was just thinking that it's that, but it's not that. It's actually like healthy body. When you feel healthy, you can eat. And then when you are really bad, for example, in bad way, I couldn't even eat. It was like, I did have to force myself to eat, and I did lose some weight then. But then this weight gain also, because the healing always happens in environment where is a lot of fluids. If you didn't know that, that's true. Like healing happens in the very fluid environment, in that sense, that how your cells are able to like regenerate itself. So this also is gonna be the last kings, that we gain a little bit of weight. I'm not like really fat, but still it's like 5 kilos. And I'm really sure that I'm just gonna naturally about to lose this weight in next months up till like 5. Because like it really feels like my body is now just enjoying so much that I'm able to eat food, and it enjoys just being comfortable, eating out, just being with people. I can get a lot of like just dopamine of like doing those things that wouldn't be possible for me before, like just like driving a car. It feels really nice, which I hated before, because I was like just panicky and not nice at all. And just feeling really good about my stomach, that I don't feel anything like those those constipation, diarrhea issues that I had. Just comfortable. And if that's weight gain have been the one of my last symptoms, that's okay with me. I don't like. You can say whatever you want, that, oh, it's because you have been eating so much pizza. But what I really think that our metabolism also, and I know people who have gone through this is just something that I know because I have heard this from others, that they have said also that they did gain weight, and after 5 years their metabolism like went to the back, their early like teens, like saying that they were in early teens, that they just can eat what they eat. Like that's how I was when I was teenager. I never thought about food. I eat what I eat, and I was just really active. I was doing all kind of stuff. I was active. Even then started to after that, caffeineism really started to kick in. But that's how I felt I will be in the next few months or next year at least, that I'm just gonna be so active that I can eat what I eat and I don't naturally overeat, because this is one thing too. And I know I speak a lot, but this is because this is gonna be my maybe second last video. I just wanna put all this out now. So I just feel that we are naturally meant to be like active, and we are not naturally going to overeat and be overweight. It's just not like something. When you are motivated to life, you are motivated to do things, you're gonna just naturally lose weight. You wanna go to the gym, or maybe you don't wanna go, you don't have to even go to the gym, you are just naturally active, like you walk and you do work and you be busy, and then you're gonna eat, and you maybe have to even make sure that you eat enough that you are able to like to gain the weight. And then the exercise is, I think it's a just huge plus when we heal. That at least for me, exercise is very important, and I want to do exercise. I will do, and I have been doing now more and more, but not in the level still that I would like to. So I think that's just like the last sign that we are there, like completely there, that when you are able to exercise without that causing you any stress, you are able to recover really good for that, and you are able to eat like whatever, and you are just, of course you're gonna not want to eat junk food all the time. That's like, you normally want to just eat good food, and that is like you're full, like you get energy from the food and drinking water, and when you sleep good, you will like recover normally. You will wake up with having good energy, you want to go out, you want to run. Like, I think this should be all normal. Like, think about when we were younger, we didn't never think about this stuff. We didn't never think about this kind of stuff. We were out and about, like doing stuff, unless if you were like really heavily drugged already since really young age, but for example with alcohol too, or some other drugs. But at least for me, before the caffeineism really hit me when I was a child and my early teens, that's after my caffeineism really went up, I was able to just, be happy and live life, and didn't have to worry about. And I don't really think that we just will gain weight when we get older, or it doesn't just make sense, because I know a lot of people, they can eat whatever they want and they are not like fat at all. It's not just the food that, of course, if you overeat, that makes sense. And if you don't do anything, you just sit in the computer all day long, of course you're gonna probably gain weight. But I think that we are not just gonna be like that, because when you do heal, you just have energy, and you should have energy, because that's how the people are. Like, you just are running around doing stuff, and that doesn't have to be any rocket science, like anything like, oh, I do have to work out really hard. It's, you can if you want, and you can like put your fitness in next level. I want to try that for sure, but you don't have to do that to be in good shape. If I don't know if you get what I mean. Like, even being in a good shape, I think it comes like naturally when you do recover. And of course there is and can be a lot of other issues what people are having, but now I speak if you don't take anything like mind-altering stuff and just stay free from everything and give yourself time, I think your body will be more and more just capable to process all the emotions and just naturally function. I don't know. What do you say about this? Probably nobody is listening this anymore, but that was, I think, the one of thing that I wanted to also say. Then the last thing also, that remember that when those brain neurons, when they start to communicate again, which means that you will start to feel a little bit more connected, able to do more stuff, like living normal life. Remember that some of those circuits of the brain and the body can be that they heal faster than others. So that's why even you are longer in your journey, sometimes it can feel that it's almost like, okay, let's put it in this way, that in about like 4 years I felt that I have this new car, which is me. And now this year is like how I'm gonna drive this car. I have this new car because the old car was the caffeinated car. I know how to drive that car for sure because I have driven that car for all my life. So I knew how to drive it, and as long as I could get my drug. But then when I quit the drug, I had to build up this new car, new human. How long it does take to grow new human? About 5 to 6 years. The baby to get like in the that your personality also like be the full like complete about the 6-7 years. I think it happens. So think about it. So let's say that you're gonna start feel that you are like new in so many levels. Your brain just doesn't work like it did work before, but you kind of still are just learning and adapting, and all these behaviors and emotions are just trying to come in the surface. So that's what I have been feeling now lately, just really being like getting back to life and living with this new stuff that I have, like healed body, which I still have some kinks to go, like the weight gain and you know, this behavior, emotional stuff that I'm still dealing with. But I really think that this is also like the last part, and then maybe 5 to 5 years I don't have to think about this anymore. Like I don't even wanna probably talk about this. I think that's gonna just happen naturally when we heal. That it's not, we don't have anything to say about it because we are just so busy to living life. And I can see that will happen for me too in somewhere soon. But it doesn't mean that you are not, like, you are important to me, and I wish that more people would share also this kind of stuff that about caffeine. But at least we are here experiencing this, and when we do heal, we just know that we don't go back. You don't go back to drugs. So let's say that this takes for 5 years for you. Okay, let's say that I'm just gonna give you example. It's not gonna take that for long, maybe for many, but those who are hanging here with me probably are the persons that, if you are hanging here with me over 3 years, 4 years, you're gonna probably be in this train with me. So let's say that it's gonna take for you maybe this 5 years. Think about still that even it's now, it can feel that it's long, and it's not gonna be hell all the time. It's gonna, like, it's not gonna be like that all the time what you are feeling now if you are feeling really bad. But let's say that, would you rather be in 5 years in that hell, and then you don't have anything, like you are healed and you are not suffering caffeineism anymore? Or would you rather take your old life back with drugs, whatever your drugs are? Some people can be that some other drug is more damaging from them than caffeine. I don't know, but would you want to go and grow older with that high caffeineism state and probably end up using maybe more other drugs because your nervous system is just so jacked up, and you just want to go maybe with alcohol and maybe other drugs? Or would you just suffer it through? So that's something to think about maybe for the motivation, that when we become to think about time and how it's so hard, because it's so hard when it feels like time doesn't go by, and you just are going through every day like, oh, I'm just existing, and oh, another day with this shit again, and I know how it feels because I do remember that still. Even my brain doesn't want me to go back there. So it's still gonna be a short period of time versus that you would start continue your addiction, and maybe you will be some kind of functional with that, but when you are in addiction state, it's always gonna keep growing, kind of that addiction too. So that's something to think about when you have hard times, that this is really temporary. It really is. And also the benzo quitters too, if you are listening this, for you too, benzo quitters, even your symptoms can be a little bit different, and depending what you have been taking and how long. And I really do recommend that you just give a lot of time and stay away from the mind-altering drugs, because it is a state. It's really is, like, even I made that rap video, like, it's just a wave. Like, that's how when we do recover, we are actually able to start to think about that, oh, it's just a wave. But before, when I was just going through this, I was just thinking, oh, I will have PTSD from this kind of stuff. Like, would I have PTSD? Because how can people like not have PTSD when this kind of happens? But then when you kind of recover, it's like weird that you kind of forget, and you are not thinking about having PTSD, or you are not thinking at maybe I will always think about this, or you will be always scared. You are not gonna be scared. You're gonna, of course, be wiser that you don't go back to addiction, at least I hope. Of course, there are some cases that they start to happen, that they feel so good that they just maybe somehow forget, and then they go back to drugs. But I don't just think that it's gonna happen, because probably if you are really truly healed and then you would try to go take something or caffeine, it would hit you different way. Even now, if you have been like 4 years, 3 years off, and you would try to caffeine, it could be hit you so different way. I never want to even try that. I haven't even tried single piece of chocolate. I haven't taken anything, and I don't want to take, because I just don't want to take any kind of caffeine. But just to let you know that many of us, when we were like adapted to that high dose, it didn't hit us because we were so adapted. But then when you adapted like completely being free, and you have like the zero state, that just reminds that even small amount can hit you different ways. So I just know that you are not gonna do that when you heal and recover, because you just know that it was just so much waste of time, and you know that what it did to you, and it wasn't good for you. And maybe those people who don't have it so bad, they don't experience in the same way. But those of us who did have really bad stuff with that drug, and really bad relationship with that drug, at least I think we just always will know that. So yes, now it's 1 hour, 7 minutes for this preaching. Pray what you preach what you pray. So yeah, now if you have any questions, I would be happy to answer those too. I'm getting red-faced, but I'm not even irritated with that, because it's just a blood flow when I get nervous about these. But I don't know, it seems to be that there is good 6 person here, but I will put your heart, 1 heart here. So a lot of rewiring, brain rewiring, new rewiring. It's all rewiring, adapting. Somehow I just like the word adapt. It's just like, for me, it's, I don't know, in all this journey, I just didn't like to hear people scary stories. This is just my way, have been always kind of, I don't know. I just wanted to focus those things that I kind of could, like you can always, even if you would feel like so fucked up, you can always have something that turn your mindset away from the scary stuff. Like, don't do that. Don't put your mind in the scary stuff. It's not doing any help. Just the supportive stuff. Okei, Mikko Leveli tulee telkusta puhelimella tänne moikkaan. No niin, moikka Mikko. Joo, pitääpä mennä itsekin sitä katsomaan. Tää on tämmönen mun englanniksi nyt tämmönen viimeinen puhe ennen mun 5 vuoden päivitystä. Moikka Esa ja siunausta sinne. So yeah, I think this been a good speech for me, and with this topic I will see you around in my 5 years update, which I said it will be the next April. 18 April will be my 5 years mark, and then I will do my update. So just keep going, guys, and just know that you will get better, and don't be discouraged with those who are supportive. Let's say that don't be let them be in their own state. Everyone can do what they want, and you just focus your own recovery, and God bless to everyone, and you are in my prayers and thoughts. See you. Bye bye.